Morning, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day. This is Steven Chavez with Dorado Surfaces and coming to you with another video series here. This week and pretty much the last 6 months, the biggest hot topic in the industry has been shipping rates, freight costs. We've all seen with almost every distributor, whether it's cabinets, tile, slabs for countertops, that prices have continue to go up, and a major component of this has been the shipping costs. So not only ocean freight overseas, so whether you're shipping containers from Vietnam to the United States, but also local trucking in the United States. So both of the costs have gone up dramatically over the last year. And to make matters worse, there is an increase in demand for ocean containers. So not only originally did COVID kind of mess up the whole supply chain for ocean freight containers, but also now there are more factories and more companies in the United States and around the world buying goods from other countries and wanting to ship those goods into their own country, so making matters worse. So to give you some dollar and cents figures, what we've dealt with just at Dorado over the last year, we used to pay about, call it $4,000 for ocean freight. So that means if you're shipping something from, whether it's China or Vietnam or, Singapore, Philippines, wherever, to the United States. So let's just say it was $4,000 for rough figures sake. Today, which is July 2021, that same ocean freight has gone up to $18,000 per container. So it used to be $4,000, now it's $18,000 for that same container. So every country has a different rate. So India has a rate, Philippines has a rate, Malaysia has a rate, Spain has a rate, Brazil has a rate. So every country of origin does have different rates. The most expensive I've seen as of July was $21,000 per container to get it shipped. And not only have the rates gone up that dramatically, so in some instances they've gone up 5 times what they used to be, but to actually get the container, they call it booking space, to actually get the space or the booking container is really hard now. So in the past, it used to take us 1 week, maybe 10 days from when you requested a container till they delivered it to whatever factory you wanted it, and then you could load it and get it shipped. Now that same booking space is gone out to 30 days, some countries 45 days from when you book it. So if I booked it today, I'm not going to get that container for 30 to 45 days from now, and I'm going to pay the increased rate, upwards of, the most expensive I've seen is $21,000 now. So what I've been told is causing these dramatic increases in shipping costs is, like I've already said before, one, the demand for containers have gone up, meaning tile companies, hardware companies, slab companies, all the people in the building industry and other industries alike, they have increased their purchasing as a whole. Since COVID has ended, even during COVID, a lot of companies increased the amount that they are purchasing from overseas. Since COVID has ended, that has even gone up even more. So increase in demand has put a shortage on containers. Also, when COVID was going on, a lot of these containers got shipped to other countries, and then the countries, let's just say they went from China to the United States. There was not as much goods coming from the United States back to China as there were goods coming from China to the United States. So steamship vessels were forced to ship empty containers back to these other countries just to get them back there in order to repack them and ship them back to wherever they had the demand for them to go to. So on top of that, at the ports in the United States, the the ports are claiming that they're having a chassis shortage, and all that means is a chassis is basically the equipment that the container gets put on so that a semi can hook up to it and transport it. So the chassis is the metal frame with the wheels that the container sits on. So the ports in the United States were saying that there was also a chassis shortage. So meaning once the steamship vessels got to port, like in Long Beach Port or Oakland Port, that they didn't have enough chassis to put the containers on, meaning taking them off the boat, put them on a chassis to then transport them to wherever they're going. So for our situation in Denver, we would transport them from the port on a chassis to the rail yard so we could put it on a train and then train it to Denver Rail. And then from Denver Rail, we'd put it on another chassis and truck it to our warehouse to unload it. So on top of not having enough containers in whatever country you wanted to load it, also increased demand. The third problem has been that there just hasn't been enough chassis at the ports to transport these containers to their customers, whether it's a local, warehouse in LA or bringing it to the rail yard so that we can train it to Denver. So what we've dealt with in the United States at the ports now is it's been about 2-month delay once it actually gets to Long Beach or Oakland or Seattle, whatever port you're bringing it into. We've experienced 2-month delays once it's gotten to the port. So not only are the delays of 30 to 45 days to get the equipment overseas just to get the container, then you get it on the container or get it on the steamship vessel, ship it to the United States. Once it gets to the United States, there's another 2 months delay just getting it off the boat, getting it onto a chassis and getting it over to the rail yard so they can ship it to Denver. So both of those combined have pushed us over 100-day delays just from those two things. So that's what we're currently dealing with. I have not seen rates go down. So the current July rates, they went up again. So every month the rates for booking containers continues to go up. My personal guess is that it will not go down. And my reasoning is from August through January is peak shipping season, especially for retailers. So if you own Walmart or a Target or a retail store, you are starting to stock your shelves for Christmas season, which is the biggest buying holiday for retailers. And typically during August through January, more containers are shipped than the other months of the year. And all of the retailers across the United States and Canada are, again, stocking their shelves, getting ready for the Christmas holiday. So that's going to make, shipping timelines, shipping costs, in my opinion, even go up even more. So I don't see this fixing itself anytime soon. Maybe, first quarter, second quarter of next year, but I just don't see it's, I don't see this shipping issue fixing itself until consumption in the United States slows down. Right now we're seeing construction at an all-time high, and so until construction starts to slow down, until consumer spending starts to slow down on the retail level, I don't see this fixing itself. So I would assume that the price increases that you've seen with all distributors around the United States, I would suspect that you will see another price increase by the end of the year, if not, latest by January, because all of us distributors are dealing with the same pressure of every month our shipping rates go up, and those costs, I'm going to assume you're going to start seeing as added price increases in the future. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping the shipping industry can figure this out. Just the mere magnitude of how much shipping rates have gone up. At first it went from like 4,000 to 6,000 a container. Then it went from 6,000 to 8,000, and then 8 to 10, and 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 to 20. It just, every month it just baffles my mind on how rates keep going up, and people keep paying them. So that's what we're seeing. That's the reality of what's happening. It's happening in every country. Some countries are worse off than others. For instance, right now, India, the increased rates in India have not gone up as dramatically as, say, Malaysia. But the problem with India is they had a second bout with COVID. So they had another, it wasn't a complete country shutdown, but they had another shutdown of sorts, which compounded the problem. So, even though India's prices didn't go up as dramatically as Malaysia, getting the equipment in India right now is very difficult. So every country, from what I can see, has been impacted, and this is how it's going to trickle down on, to the USA market. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, you can always email me, steven@doradosurfaces.com. Hope you enjoyed, hope you tuned in. Feel free to pass this on to other people in the industry. I know people ask me about it, weekly, like what's going on? Why are there delays? Why are there, why is all the distributors, constantly seeing stock issues with colors, out of stock issues, all of that. And it's not only for companies like us that buy slabs, from other countries. This is impacting also local manufacturing of quartz. So if you own or run or buy from a quartz factory that produces their material in the United States, they're still dealing with the same problems. I mean, they might not be shipping full slabs in containers, across the ocean, but they're buying resins, they're buying polishing pads for their machines, they're buying parts, they're buying the quartz aggregate from overseas. So this isn't impacting everybody, not only if you manufacture in another country, but also if you manufacture here in the United States domestically. You still have to get your resins, your aggregates, your polishing pads, your tools for your equipment. You still have to buy those, whether it's from Italy or Spain or wherever you're buying your parts and your resins and your aggregate from. It's still coming from other countries. Also, trucking in the United States. So if you're manufacturing your slabs domestically, the price for domestic trucking has gone up dramatically. So, if you're making slabs in Georgia or Florida or wherever you're making your material, and you have to truck it to Seattle or California or Colorado, trucking rates have gone through the roof. Not only have they gone through the roof, but it's the same problem we're seeing with ocean containers. We're having a very hard time securing space on flatbeds. So if I wanted to ship slabs from my Colorado store to my Massachusetts store, in the past, I could, post it up and within a day have multiple truckers calling us to fill that load. Now it's the opposite. You're waiting weeks upon weeks to actually get a truck, and you're paying 4 to 5 times much to get it shipped out. So we used to ship stuff between stores on a weekly basis, and we've stopped doing that unless it's like an extreme emergency or case, just because paying 5 times as much to ship something, next thing you know, you're losing money, selling slabs. So yeah, everybody's dealing with the same problems, and I don't see this working itself out. I think the reality is just prices continue to go up. I know a lot of people have been talking about inflation. I got a call from one of my good fabricators yesterday, and he's like, yeah, inflation's real. And I'm like, yeah, it's real. So anyways, I would expect to continue to see price increases for anything, whether it's cabinets, tile, sinks, flooring, countertops, all of that in the building industry. I would suspect that prices will continue to increase as the year goes on, and until people quit buying, in consumer consumption, whether you're buying houses or buying stuff at the store, until that slows down and not as many companies are requesting as many containers, I don't see this issue with freight costs slowing down at all. So anyways, again, Steven Chavez, Dorado Surfaces, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.